The sound I remember most isn't my husband's voice when he told me to leave. It's the click of the front door unlocking behind me while my children stood frozen on the stairs, watching their mother get erased from her own life. He didn't shout. That's what made it worse. His tone was calm, almost rehearsed, like he practiced this moment in the mirror. He said it wasn't working anymore. He said I was unstable. He said the kids didn't need to see this version of me. And then he pointed to the door, as if I were a guest who had overstayed her welcome. I remember gripping my purse so tightly my fingers went numb. My daughter whispered, "Mom?" But I couldn't answer her. I was afraid if I spoke, I'd break completely. I walked out because I didn't want my children to remember me screaming. I wanted them to remember me standing. What he didn't know was that I had already seen the cracks forming long before that night. We had been married for 11 years. I was a quiet one, the planner, the woman who kept birthdays remembered and socks matched. He liked to say he was a strong one, the decision maker. I believed him for a long time. Too long. The last year of our marriage felt like living inside a locked room. He controlled the money to make things easier. He criticized my parenting but never lifted a finger. He told friends I was emotional, overwhelmed. Lucky to have him. I started keeping a journal because it was the only place I was allowed to be honest. When he kicked me out, he thought he was ending the story. In reality, he was starting the part he wouldn't survive. That night, I slept on my sister's couch with my phone clutched to my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't sleep either. I scrolled through old emails, bank alerts, screenshots I'd taken without knowing why. Little things, comments, transfers, dates that didn't add up. By morning, I knew something he didn't. He had emptied our joint account 2 weeks earlier. He thought I wouldn't notice because he'd always handled the finances. But I had noticed. I had printed the statements. I had emailed them to myself. I had quietly asked a lawyer friend what financial abandonment meant. When I went to pick up the kids 2 days later, he stood in the doorway with a smug half-smile, like a man enjoying his own performance. He told me I had 30 minutes. He told me the house was no longer my environment. He told the kids mommy was just confused right now. I smiled back. That confused him. Over the next month, I became invisible on purpose. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I followed every legal instruction perfectly. Temporary custody schedule. Documented exchanges. Context messages that sounded almost kind. Behind the scenes, I was building something solid. The lawyer filed motions he didn't expect. The bank froze accounts he thought were untouchable. His company received a compliance notice after my attorney reviewed shared business expenses, charged to our personal accounts. Suddenly, his confidence started leaking out through angry late-night texts. He accused me of poisoning the kids against him, of trying to ruin his life, of being vindictive. I never replied. The custody hearing was quiet. No dramatics. No raised voices. Just evidence, dates, screenshots, records. The judge looked at him longer than she looked at me. That was the moment I knew he understood something had shifted. When the ruling came, I didn't react. Sole physical custody. Supervised visitation until financial transparency was restored. Temporary spousal support. He looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. The kids moved into a small apartment with me that smelled like fresh paint and second chances. We ate dinner on the floor the first night because our table hadn't arrived yet. My son laughed like he hadn't laughed in months. My daughter slept through the night for the first time since I could remember. Weeks later, I passed my old house on the way to work. There was a for sale sign in the yard. I didn't slow down. He tried to talk to me once after that. Said he never meant to hurt anyone. Said he'd been stressed. Said we could fix things if I just came back and stopped all this. I told him the truth. Calmly and without anger, I said, "You didn't lose me when you kicked me out. You lost me when you thought I wouldn't survive without you. Now my children watch me differently. Not with fear. Not with confusion. But with trust. And every night when I lock my own door, I remember the sound that started it all and I smile, because this time, I'm the one holding the key. If you want to hear more stories like this, stay close. There's always another truth waiting.